What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to the channel. My name is Craig, and we are going to be talking about the copper tariffs today. Trump did announce they will go into effect August 1st. We've seen before that sometimes they don't, but we're going to see what's going to happen. We're going to talk about what it might affect, what countries it may affect. Also, we're going to go over, you guessed it, Bitcoin. We're going to take a look at the last chart I showed you on Tuesday's video, where we're at now. Definitely really close, and where we could go, both the bullish and the bearish. And the bullish could be very bullish. Definitely stick around for that. Let's get into it, guys. All right, guys, but first we're going to take a look at the futures. So Dow futures are down 13 points, S&P futures down 2 points, and NASDAQ futures down 30 points. Now, we're going to talk about what this copper tariff could affect here. So obviously, copper now costs way more in the U.S. than elsewhere. This could hit the U.S. economy hard. Now, the reason he says he's doing this is to boost domestic production. So if it's expensive to buy from the outside, then he's hoping that we start producing more copper from within our country to beat those prices. That way we create more jobs and supply our own copper, right? So it'll raise the cost of appliances, electric vehicles, wiring, and infrastructure components like semiconductors, renewables, things like that. So it's posed a significantly impact. So the copper tariff is going to affect Chile, Canada, Mexico, and Peru the most. Those are the top suppliers for copper in the U.S. So that's where the tariff's going to hit the worst. Now we're going to take a look at, let's take a look at the tariffs for August 1st, right? I know he made it official yesterday. They talked about it a couple days ago with the copper, but yesterday made it official. But we talked about this earlier Tuesday. Most of the tariffs that were supposed to be, I think, July 11th, July 1st, then 11th, now August 1st, and who knows, maybe it'll continue further. We'll have to wait and see. August 1st, apparently right now, is where these take effect, but they are a little bit lower than they were announced on April 2nd. Now, as for Bitcoin, if the markets continue to pump, could Bitcoin go higher? This is the chart from our Tuesday video, right? I had said watch for a break of this trend line, and then from that break, I told you to take a measured move from the widest point of the target to where it broke, and that gets you up to approximately 112.6, 112.7. We didn't quite hit it. It's still possible. We are above the EMAs here, guys. If we can stay above this 8 EMA, 110.5-ish, I do think we're probably going to see this 112 to 113 range. We do have another trend line off of these two peaks that would get us as high as 114.4, right? Now, let's take a look at the daily, and I'll show you if this continues up, how high it could go. We could watch for a rejection here and just continue on down back to our next targets. We'll have to wait and see if anything forms here. You know what? Real quick, I'm going to throw a trend line on this while you guys are here just to see if any of this lines up. And it will. If we get up to that range, right, we could be looking at a rising broadening wedge, or just a rising wedge, right? Something like this. So let me make these white so you can see it. And for those of you that trade, right, Prime XBT has got a huge offer right now where your fees are 70% off for your fees, and by using my link you get a 20% bonus. So if you can get a bonus up to $7,000, right? So 20% of whatever you deposit gets put into your account as a bonus to use towards your margin. Huge. And the fees are like nothing. So that's for I think for a month, the fees are going to be super, super low. I have it on my Twitter if you guys, or my X account, you could go check it there. But as I said, let's look for some divergence here. There's really no divergence other than from this high back here to this high, but we're going to check the daily chart. Now, do you guys remember this? We did come back for a retest now. So on the daily, if we can hold above this 112,200 range, if we can hold above that, this could be extremely bullish. But if we drop below this blue trend line, which is around 112.2, and that becomes resistance, then chances are we could be coming back down to these levels that we talked about, which is the 200 EMA, right? 96,000. But if we can remain above this, the super bullish case, right? This means that the markets continue up, everything goes great. I wanna talk about one more thing real quick. Those of you that have been watching the channel know that I do have a very bearish outlook also. Let me get this set up real quick. So on the bearish look, right, that is if we go into a recession, which Bitcoin has never really seen a real recession, right? The last one was in 2008. If we do get into a recession, these highs are they are not gonna last that long. We could go really, really low. I mean, a loss of 90 to 95% on Bitcoin. Now, bear with me. The reason being, now all these companies have been buying Bitcoin, right? So when the markets crashed in the 2008 a great financial crisis, right, which was just a big recession, companies were going out of business left and right, and they have to sell their assets, right, to, you know, keep money flowing so they can actually stay afloat until the economy gets better. Now, Bitcoin will probably be, not saying it has to be, but it'll be one of the first things they sell because the increase in price so much, they have made so much money holding it that they're gonna be taking profits if we get into a recession, which I think we're going to. But again, we'll see what happens. So as of right now, if it can remain above 112,200 points or bucks, I do see it possibly going as high as 122.5, which is the measured move. It's actually going to be higher than that. I apologize. Let me look at this here. We're going to get a more exact count. So if we take a measured move from where it broke, it's the actual, and if you watch my videos for the last year or so, we talked about 125-ish, 124 being the top if we could get that high, which again, if we can stay above this trend line here, we could definitely see this level. It's not a guarantee, obviously. Just like I said, we keep an eye on this too, because we could easily drop back down out of this. Let me see something real quick. So this is the bearish case. Where are we at here? Here we go. Let's look at our ABC pattern. So if we look at this as A, a B, C, D, E, this will be E. It may not be done yet. Wait, what was this? This is not what I meant. Sorry, guys. Right here. Let me get this off of there. So this would be A, right? B, C, D, E, if we get up to this level and then come down. If that happens and we get a rejection around this 112.6 to 112.8, maybe 113 range, watch for rejection there and come back down. If that happens and we break this bottom trend line, then I'll tell you how to get your measured move to the downside, right? I know it looks kind of messy here, guys. Probably should have used a clean chart, but we're already started now. But if we look at that as a rising wedge, right? And if we come back down and break this level, that still gets us down to about that 104 something range for that target. And then we kind of have to see where it's at from there. But let's get rid of all this stuff now, right? Let's get rid of all that. Okay, so let's look for some divergence on the daily. So we do have some major divergence here on the daily from this high right here to this high here. We get this out of the way. We're going to draw a trend line. Let's make this a different color though, but we're going to go off this high, right? On the, oh, this is the 4 hour. My bad. We wanted to look at the daily right there. Huge divergence here, guys. Look at, we're obviously making a lower high here on the closes, but if we go off of this high here, we're making a higher high here to here. That could be very bearish, guys, but remember, so we're getting a lower high here, a higher high here in the daily. Just remember, if we hold above here, we remain bullish above 110.4, right? If we break above this, or I'm sorry, break below this, and this becomes our resistance, then we're bearish and we're looking for these targets again. But as of right now, we're bullish. Could go as high as 123. Will we get a blow off top there? Maybe. Who knows? Remember, guys, I'm going on vacation. I'll be on vacation next week. I will be doing a different style of videos, so make sure you tune in for that while I'm on vacation. Make sure you guys smash the thumbs up, leave your comments down below, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks for tuning in, guys, and I'm out.